we are. Welcome in. Philly Take with RB. 4 in the morning. We are here. It has finally happened. The Sixers have traded James Harden and PJ Tucker. It has happened. Sixer Nation, welcome in. Wow. We are here, man. I just got out of bed. I've done some crazy live streams before, but this one takes the cake, bro. Fuck sleep at this point, man. Happy Halloween. What am I doing with my life, man? What am I doing? You want to talk about an obsession with a basketball team? You want to talk about dedication, man? It is 4 o'clock in the morning. And here we are. Happy Halloween. The Sixers trade James Harden. I was asleep at 2:28 a.m. I was sleeping pretty well for once. And out of nowhere, my phone starts absolutely blowing up. I think I got about 80 messages in about 5 minutes. What the hell is going on? Is there a fire outside? Is the block going nuts? Everybody good? No, it's okay. Just James Harden has been traded by the Philadelphia 76ers. I look at my phone and damn it, I'm not going back to bed. The funniest part about it is I look at my phone and at this point, it's about 20 minutes into the trade, and there is no sight of any return. There's literally no return. They said James Harden was traded to the Clippers, and nobody knows what they got back. First off, I want to say this. Daryl Morey, you son of a gun. Who the hell makes a trade at 2:30 in the morning? Who makes a trade at 2:30 in the morning? Like, that is just outright rude and disrespectful. But you know what? Here we are. The dedication is real, right? Your favorite reporter is probably sleeping right now. I'm here at 4 in the damn morning. So if you have not yet, hit the damn like button. Hit the damn like button, man. Subscribe to the show. What did I tell you guys 2 weeks ago? When the James Harden news dropped, we would be first to report. We would be first to report. Here we are. I don't know how the hell I'm up right now, but I am. James Harden traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. It has finally happened. PJ Tucker is gone as well. Let's talk about this trade, man. Let's talk about this trade. We're putting it together. So this comes out at, what time was it? 2:01 a.m. 2:01 a.m. I know it's 11 p.m. in California. I don't care. James Harden traded to the Los Angeles Clippers per sources. James Harden traded. Also, shout out to Daniel Wren for becoming a member. Thank you so much. James Harden traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. It has finally happened. What is the return? Who wins the trade? We then get this from Adrian Wojnarowski. The Sixers are acquiring Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, and multiple draft picks and a pick swap in exchange for James Harden, PJ Tucker, and Filip Petrusev. Damn, my guy Philip with an F. He caught a stray in this deal. He probably got thrown in at the last minute. Shot at the Petrusev. He's gone. He's out of here. So then you might be asking me, RB, what are the Sixers doing? Has Daryl Morey lost his mind? No Terrence Mann in this deal. No Norman Powell in this deal. What did the Sixers just do? What did they get themselves into? And I was thinking the same thing for about 5 minutes. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, go do that right now at RB Philly Take. I'm tweeting out my thoughts as we're going. And honestly, I still have more thoughts. This deal might not be done yet. But then we get the savior tweet from Adrian Wojnarowski. The Clippers are sending the Philadelphia 76ers a 2028 unprotected first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and a pick swap. But wait, we're not done there. The Clippers are routing the Sixers an additional future first-round pick from a third team. What? What? What does this mean? What is going on here? Let me tell you, man. This could mean a couple things. Number one, there is another deal in place. There is another third team involved here. And I'll pull up the report so we can get the latest here. But according to what the people are saying, the third team involved in this trade could potentially be, drum roll please, the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, they have 5 gazillion first-round picks. The OKC Thunder could be a third-team facilitator to make this trade work. That's number one. Number two, and I ask this question to the people out there tuning in, the 500 wonderful people that are so sick that they are up here with me at 4 a.m. Could another deal be in stride? Is Daryl Morey done? Because if I'm not mistaken, it was one Daryl Morey who preached all off season that the main culprit of this deal in James Harden would have to warrant either a star or more assets so that the Sixers could get a star. And I say this, Daryl Morey said that with an intention. Is he going to then flip these assets to get another star? Because, you know, everybody off the rip is saying the Sixers lost this deal. The Sixers lost this deal. I haven't fully processed it yet. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If Daryl Morey pulled off 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a pick swap, and a bunch of salary filler that's going to expire at the end of the year, Daryl Morey won this trade, ladies and gentlemen. He got off the Tucker contract for the last 2 years. He got off the Tucker contract. If he got 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds, and a pick swap, Daryl Morey won this trade. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're going to be fixated on Marcus Morris and Robert Covington. That's not what this deal is about. The Sixers need draft capital. They have none. The Sixers don't have much draft capital. James Harden, despite whatever you want to think out there, had minimal value. No team wanted James Harden other than the Clippers. They wouldn't give up Terrence Mann, which is evident. They wouldn't give up T-Man to get this deal done. They wouldn't give up Norman Powell. I wish the Sixers could have got Norman Powell, but it is what it is. If Daryl Morey pulled off 5 picks, 2 first-rounders in the future, this is a win for the Sixers. But again, let's go. I would assume that this is going to have further implications. I think there's going to be more players involved. I think there's going to be more details. As of right now, this is all we know. It seemed like Woj tweeted this out and literally fell asleep for 20 minutes. And then they've been piecemealing all of this together. This is where we're at. Who do you think won the trade? Let me know in the chat. Sixers or Clippers? We have 600 people in the chat. 4 a.m. We're rocking with you. Welcome in. I can't believe I got out of bed, but here we are. I can't believe we are here. D Green with the $5 super chat says reliable wings help win rings. I like that. Reliable wings help win rings. An expiring contract for depth and draft picks. This is a win for Philly. Chess move. Chess move. Presidential Mike, $5 super chat. He says 4 teams in a 2-year span. I can see Harden out of the league in a year or 2, The Sixers won this trade. I can see us trading for Levine and Siakam with those assets. Could another trade be in store? I'm telling you, Daryl Morey says things and he usually sticks by them. And if Daryl Morey is gathering all of these assets, I really think there's a possibility, whether it's today, tomorrow, or in 2 months or before the deadline, that we could see another big time name come over here. Because let me tell you what happened, man. Daryl Morey looked at this team. He said Tyrese Maxey's averaging 30 freaking points in the first 3 games. He looks like he can take that leap. We're not bringing this guy back into the mix. That would absolutely stint Tyrese Maxey. And honestly, he did it to him last year, right? Maxey has been able to take this leap. Maxey has been able to do this. He just didn't have the role on this offense because James Harden was here. And look, I thank James Harden for his time here, for his 1.5 years, 2 years here, but I am so glad that the drama is done with. I am so happy this team has been playing inspired basketball these first couple games. They look like an actual team. And honestly, James Harden wouldn't have fit that mold. And I told you, when they said, oh, he's out for reconditioning vamp up or whatever the hell they said, there's just no way. There's no way that he is coming back to play with this team. They held him out on purpose. I don't know why he showed up on the bench. I don't know why he was there yesterday, other than to maybe collect his check. But you could see he didn't want to go. He didn't want to be there. And PJ Tucker not being here anymore is an absolute win. I was a big advocate to sign PJ, but you know what? His time died out, and he was never living up to that contract. That is a huge win by Daryl Morey to get off of that contract. Let's go. Duncan Wright with a $2 super chat says, feels great. Listen, guys, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm feeling better now. I'm not sleeping. Here we are. Here we are. Demon Badger with a $5 super chat says, the distraction being removed from the team equals a Sixers win trade. The assets are a bonus. And you know what? I don't think people should just throw these guys out the door either. Nicholas Batum has been around the game a long time. He's a secured veteran. He doesn't have much left in the tank, but it's not like he can't play any minutes. Robert Covington is back in Philly. You know how I feel about Rocco. Not a big fan. But again, he'll be another depth piece. And KJ Martin is a young, upcoming player. People forget about KJ Martin just because he's bounced. Just because KJ Martin's bounced around a couple times. Just because he's bounced around a couple times. You know, KJ Martin is a guy that could potentially become a piece in a couple years. So it's not like the Sixers got nothing in these pieces they returned. Even Marcus Morris, who I don't think will play much, you know, even if these guys don't crack the rotation, right, you still got a couple bodies back. But Demon Badger, I agree. The distraction being removed from the team is huge. And I think they finally have, you know, they have some clear vision for the future. The guys can actually focus now and not have to worry about, you know, if their role's going to change or whatever. So I do think that's a win. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. We got 150 likes in here, 715 people. Drop a like, subscribe to the show. Guys, hit the like button, man. We are here grinding it out. James Harden is finally gone from the Sixers. I can't believe it, but here we are. $5 super chat from Fletcher Robertson says, we waived Danny Green. And that was going to be the next thing I got to. Because the Sixers now pulled back in an extra player, they had to make a subsequent move. And unfortunately, it was Danny Green, the 3-time champion, that that had to catch a body here. Unfortunately, man. I mean, it is what it is. He wasn't going to play many minutes. I'm surprised he played as much as he did in the first few games. But the Sixers have waived Danny Green. Philly needed the roster spot to complete the trade with the Clippers. It just made sense for Danny, you know, to be the one to go. You know, he wasn't going to play that much, didn't have much left. Now the Sixers can actually utilize Jaden Springer more and give him some more minutes. So I'm happy about that. Vivek with the $7 super chat says, I came here as a Harden fan, but you and the Sixers have my heart. Philly is going to be my second favorite team forever. Thanks for covering this late night. Thank you for being here. And look, I know there's a lot of Harden fans probably watching this show. I've gone back and forth with a lot of them online. Look, man, I never hated James Harden. I never hated him. Did I disagree with a lot of the way he went about this situation? Absolutely. I will stand on that. He handled this very poorly. You can say the same thing in ways about Daryl Morey. James Harden handled this poorly. Let me tell you something right now. James Harden's best opportunity to, one, contend, and two, to earn that contract he owes so wants is here in Philadelphia. I do not think the Clippers are a threat with James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. I don't think they'll stay healthy. I don't know how they're going to work it in terms of a basketball sense. Sure, they need more playmaking. Sure, they'll be a solidified regular season team. I just don't see them being a threat in the playoffs. And I'm just here giving you my opinion from the outside. I believed wholeheartedly in James Harden when he came here. I believe that James Harden and Joel Embiid in some ways were a perfect duo. I believe they could have got it done. And if they didn't choke in game 6 on their home floor, and the year before, if they didn't choke in game 6 on their home floor against Miami, things may have been different. If they had got to the Eastern Conference Finals, things may have been different. We may not have been ever talking about this, but the fact of the matter is that the Sixers never reached their goal. They never got past that point. And James Harden this entire offseason sat there and really just wimped about the whole thing. He opted into his contract, whether he thought he was getting traded or not. He made that decision to opt in because he had $35 million guaranteed. No team wanted to give him the 4-year contract, so he took the secure route. He opted in, and then he demanded a trade to one destination. And now he got his wish. He finally got his wish after all of this torment. And I just don't think for the league as a whole that is right, that you should be able to, literally harass and force your way to one team and one team only. I'm thankful for his time here, and I thought they had a couple really good chances to do it. And I thought James Harden, the way he, one, opted out last year and took less money, and two, adapted his role to this offense was huge. And he led the league in assists, and he did a great job in the regular season. But at the end of the day, results are what matter. The Sixers still have not been to the conference finals since 2001, and that's just where they're at. They had to make a business decision. Daryl Morey stuck on his ground, and that's where we are. And that is how I feel about it. So I know I've gone back and forth with Harden fans, whatever. A lot of them are, delusional at times, but there are ones that understand this is a business decision. And I think Tyrese Maxey has this franchise trending in the right direction. I think Nick Nurse will elevate this team, and I think now they can focus. They can go to work 100%. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's see. Did I miss any more? James Jackson with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, is Oubre going to start now and Springer more minutes? Jaden Springer will absolutely be getting more minutes, which I'm very happy about with Danny Green being waived. And again, Danny's another good vet. Maybe the Sixers can eventually bring him back if a roster spot frees up, but somebody had to go. But I do think Kelly Oubre will be in line for starter. Maybe it's Nick Batum if he has anything left in the tank, but you got to hope that some of these guys can fill the void, right? I hope they don't start Robert Covington. And honestly, that could be a potential lineup right there. Maybe Covington will look better with Nick Nurse, right? Maybe he'll be able to kind of find that groove more, move the ball around and defend multiple positions. I just don't know if Rocco is a consistent starter. Back then, way back then at this point, Rocco as a starter with the Sixers, I know it was a different era, a different time. He just never really got it down consistently. Now, he became a solid player with Houston and Portland, but he just hasn't had it the last couple years. He just hasn't had it, and I don't know how confident I am with him starting on this team. So, honestly, I would start Kelly Oubre, but we will see what they decide to do. Maybe seizing another opportunity here could help his career and get him back on track. $2 super chat from Duncan Wright says, happy Halloween, folks. Man, what a way to start off Halloween. What a way to start off Halloween. This is interesting, man. Another thing I will say about this trade is that, say things don't work out, say the Sixers, go downhill this year, you now have Harden's contract off the books. You have Tucker's contract off the books. Daryl Morey has been very vocal about essentially clearing every contract this upcoming offseason other than Embiid and Maxey and Springer. If things go south, the Sixers now have future draft capital that they can utilize, and they're going to have max slots this next summer. So I think this is a win in that you can essentially clear Tobias Harris's contract this summer. You can get rid of all these salary fillers, the Batums, the Covingtons, the Morrises, and you can have a crap ton of cap space moving forward to build around Maxey and Embiid as well as draft picks. I don't see how this is going to be a lose for the Sixers. I think this is a win for the Sixers as of right now based on what we know. And I don't think they gave up too much. I don't think they gave up too much. People on Twitter are saying, oh, the Sixers gave up PJ Tucker too. What a steal for the Clippers. I don't think they've watched PJ Tucker. So I think either way, look, again, I think this team is going to surprise some people. Are they a championship contender right now? No. But I also think there's a possibility that Daryl Morey goes out there and trades for a guy like Zach LaVine before the deadline. He said it himself. He said, we are going to get assets to try to flip for a star. If we don't trade for a star, we're going to try to get the assets to flip for a star. And now essentially the Sixers can have, about 3 first rounders if they really want to offer the Chicago Bulls or to offer another team that goes downhill. Now you can kind of wait out and see the playing field. You can see if one of these teams go downhill in the next couple months, like the Chicago Bulls, for example, and then you go over there and offer them, okay, we'll take Zach LaVine off your hands. Here's a couple draft picks and we're on our way. So, look, man, I think the Sixers, as of right now, had a pretty good trade. I still need time to process it. It's late. Now it's early in the morning. I still can't believe I feel like I'm living in a dream. I literally tweeted out, am I dreaming right now? I want to see who the last team of the trade is. I want to see who they got this pick from, if any other players are moving around. But I will ask the chat, what do you think about this trade? Who won the trade? Where do the Sixers go from here? Do they try to get another star? Do they try to move forward with the current roster? Do you feel happy about this trade? We'll read some comments out. I'm definitely not going back to sleep tonight. I don't think I am. All I wanted was one good night of sleep. All I wanted was to wake up on Halloween and chill for a bit, but nope. Anyway, it is what it is, man. I'm at the end of the day, I'm happy to be here. The dedication, the grind, we're here, man. We're here. And the fact that there's 900 people in here is insane. It's insane. Shout out to all the channel members in here supporting the show. If you guys are new here to this show, we cover all the games live. We cover all the news via video or live stream. So we are here, man. And I told you I'd be the first one to report on this news. People are going to wake up in like 2 hours for work. They're going to see this live stream and think that I got hacked. They're going to think Philly Take got hacked. They're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? No, it happened. It happened. If you're watching this on the playback, it happened. Let's see, man. Zachary in the chat says you're a real one for going live right now. I can't believe I went live. This is probably the craziest stream I've ever done. I went live one time for 6 hours, but this beats that. I just want to see, I doubt we're going to get any more trade details tonight. I'm guessing Woj probably tapped out at this point. Actually, never mind. Woj just tweeted 1 minute ago. Woj, you are a psycho. You are a psycho. 1 minute ago, Adrian Wojnarowski responded to Adam Schefter. 5 minutes. First off, why is Adam Schefter? Oh, wait, it's the NFL trade deadline day. Dude, my brain is not working anymore. It is the NFL trade deadline day. It's Halloween. The Sixers traded James Harden. I mean, if you are a sports fan, like these teams, man, they will do it to you. They will do it to you. Adrian Wojnarowski is not sleeping either. Shout out to Woj, man. Shout out to Woj. I thought he accidentally had this one in the drafts a couple hours ago and accidentally tweeted out. I thought he was like sleepwalking or something, and he accidentally tweeted out because, again, there was no alert. There was no alert. This is all they had tweeted out. No sign of any trade package for a good half hour. So that's where we're at, man. Does Woj ever sleep? I don't know. What do you guys think about this trade? And again, guys, hit the like button, man. Thank you so much for being here. 800 people in the chat. Let's get 800 likes for the grind, man. Circular says we definitely won this trade. We got rid of another drama queen. And I am ultimately glad that it is done. I'm ultimately glad that it's done. From being, able to cover this stuff for the last 4 years, I can't believe I had to cover the Ben Simmons situation, as wild as it was. I never thought we would have another situation similar. And James Harden ended up being maybe even crazier. I mean, this guy comes out and he says Daryl Morey is a liar. James Harden and Daryl Morey were like this for many, many years through the Houston tenure. Daryl tried to get him when he went to Brooklyn. Then he ended up finally pulling him off. We got the videos of them at the airport hugging. It was like a family reunion. And, for those two to be as close as they were, to be this close to getting to, a championship in Houston, never getting it done. It felt like unfinished business. James comes here. He has a great regular season. He has a great regular season again. Feels like they're so close. And for the relationship to burn the way it did, for James Harden to go out there and say, Daryl Morey is the biggest liar and I will never play for his organization again. Like, that is insane. That is insane, man. And here we are. Here we are. And they didn't get it done before the season. Now, one place I was wrong. I didn't think the Clippers would trade for Harden a couple games into the year. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Why wouldn't you have traded for James Harden beforehand? Why wouldn't you have done this during preseason and training camp so that you can get him up to speed with your team and get him acclimated? You trade for him a couple games into the season. It makes absolutely no sense. But according to the whispers here and what they're saying, this was a final resort. This was a final resort. The Clippers would not offer Terrence Mann, and the Sixers would not go down below 2 first-round picks. So the Clippers apparently found a way to get the Sixers a second first-round pick via another team, and that's what we're still trying to put the details together on. But the Sixers are getting a second first-round pick in this deal, and I think that is what ultimately held this deal up. If the Clippers were not going to include Terrence Mann, which for some reason was the golden piece here, the Sixers got another first-round pick. And for that, I think this is a success. For the Clippers fans that are in here, welcome to the show. My advice to you would be to be very cautious. My advice would be to be very cautious. Again, I am appreciative of what James did for this franchise, but this is now, third team? Third team in 4 years that this has happened with. He's very good. He's still a good player, but he is not getting back to that level. And when he gets unmotivated or unfocused, things go awry. And it is true. He did disappear in some big playoff games. Now, he also showed up big in playoff games. It doesn't make sense if you ask me. There were some games where he was absolutely insane. Game 1 against the Celtics. I was there in person for game 3. The guy didn't even look at the rim. I don't know what to tell you. I don't believe that the Clippers can go all the way with their 3. I think they'll be a very good regular season team. I think they'll make it to the second round. I don't know if they can get past that. I'm just being honest. Clippers fans, just take it from me. I'm just going off my experience here the last couple years. Be very careful with James Harden. And back to what I was saying before, man, and I've said this all summer long. This doesn't make sense for one reason. Based on the contract, James Harden cannot sign an extension with the Clippers right now. He has to play out this year. So for James Harden to go through this entire mess, to go to the LA Clippers, he now has to play on his player option this year. He must play on his player option and then decide where to go from there. So if James Harden doesn't have a good year, or he gets injured again, or he disappears in the playoffs, he's not getting that contract. That's why I truly believe this was the best situation for him to continue to build his relationship with Joel Embiid. You now have a much better coach. I mean, James Harden got Doc Rivers fired. And then he ended up pulling this situation and is now gone. So I still believe Philly was the best situation, but things didn't work out. He thought that Daryl Morey betrayed him, and that's, what it came down to. But I see the Clippers playing a lot of like your turn, my turn basketball. And I just don't know how it's going to work out. I think it's going to take a lot of time to mesh. I think LA will benefit from his playmaking. I think he's happy to be back home or close to home. But I'm just warning you. Just being honest. Let's see. Clippers bench is actually ridiculous if everybody is healthy. One thing I'm thankful for is James. That's one thing I'm thankful for, James, for this season. Hopefully LA likes playing slow half-court basketball. RB Sleep Talk, and I'm here, man. I'm live and direct. It is 4:30 in the morning. I can't believe I'm awake, but here we are. Just being honest. Our only weakness was we didn't have a playmaker, and the Sixers gave us the assist leader for nothing. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say nothing. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a pick swap is not nothing. That's not nothing. Big Smoke says, RB, don't sleep. I mean, at this point, I'm probably not. Back to what I was saying before, though, man. I just think for the Sixers' purposes here, getting off PJ's contract, getting off of this Harden drama, and getting 2 future firsts, 2 seconds, and a pick swap is huge. Huge. I'm not saying the Sixers are a championship level roster right now, but I think finally having some more draft capital and getting off some of these bad contracts is huge. So as of right now, I'm happy with this trade. James Harden had minimal value. James Harden had little to no value. I mean, the Clippers wouldn't even give Terrence Mann for James Harden. The first round pick, I believe, will be in 2028. I believe it'll be in 2028. So, if the Clippers end up blowing it up in a year or two and maybe they don't work out and they finally part with Kawhi or, PG and Harden, maybe that pick could end up being really good. Still waiting to see more details on the pick swap. But who do you guys think won the trade? Let me know in the chat right now. Sixers or Clippers? Sixers or Clippers? 1,000 people in the chat. Let's go. Drop the 1Ks. I'm not going to ring the air horn, man. It's too late for that. But if you guys are in here rocking with me right now, shout out to you. I'm guessing it's 1:30 on the West Coast. So here we are, man. The pick swap is for 2029. I think the first round pick is for 28, and I'm guessing, the pick swap's probably for 29. What's the starting 5, RB? Well, it's going to be the same 5 minus Tucker, and then I'm guessing it'll be either Kelly Oubre, Nick Batum, or Robert Covington, which again, I'm not too comfortable with. I'm still not that comfortable with it, but I mean, we have to wait and see now. What is the plan for Daryl Morey? I don't know if he's going to sit pat here. I don't know if he's just going to sit here and not do anything else. I think the game plan now is to probably see which teams kind of falter out the next couple months, and then maybe you go get another big player before the deadline, or, you use these picks, you clear up a lot of cap space after the year, you use this as kind of a pivot year, which, again, I'm still not as comfortable with because I don't think you want to waste years of Embiid. You don't want to waste a year of Maxey. I mean, right now he's playing at an all-star level. You add another piece to this team, they could potentially take a huge leap up. This just ended up being a really bad situation. I don't think there's anything that you could do here with this. I don't think there's anything else that you could do here if you're the Sixers. I don't think there's anything you could do if you were the Clippers. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon was still out there on the table. Apparently, the Clippers tried to get him. I guess they couldn't pull that deal off, but, the Clippers got their guy. They finally got him, even though I think they did it way too late because now you're into the season. But, the Sixers got what they wanted, essentially. The Sixers so far got a bunch of draft capital. That was the holdup. If they couldn't get Terrence Mann, they wanted 2 first-round picks, and they got it. So, $5 super chat from D Green. Fire Take Goats, his hot take: expect Harden to sign a $100 million a year contract with Saudi Arabia by next season. Enjoy the rental, Clippers fans. I mean, it's a big risk for the Clippers, and I think if the Clippers don't work out here, I think they're gonna have to blow it up eventually. Because what do the Clippers do now if James Harden plays this season and he feels that he deserves a max contract at age 35 and they don't want to give it to him? Then what does he do? Does he sign for less? Does he go back to Houston? Does he go to another? What does he do then? I don't know, man. It's very interesting. I think, we'll have to wait and see how a lot of things play out from this. I think there will probably be a press conference. I think they'll talk more about the vision, most likely. RB, how do you feel about getting KJ Martin back in the trade? I like KJ Martin. I know he was with the Rockets for a year or two. He was drafted back in 2020, I believe it was, or 21. Let me check. Yeah, 2020. Second round pick. Obviously, his father is Kenyon Martin. And he was traded this offseason to the Clippers as the Rockets were moving a lot of pieces. But looking at his numbers, I mean, his first couple years, he shot around 36% from 3, played 20 minutes a game, averaged 10 points. I think KJ Martin, could be a bench piece for this Sixers team. I think KJ Martin could potentially be a decent piece. I don't think he's going to be some 6 man of the year type of guy, but, throw him in some minutes, see what he can do. He played 2 games this year so far for the Clippers, and he's averaging 5 points per game in those 2 games. Lee says, I would love Brogdon. Hey, if the Sixers could ever land Malcolm Brogdon, I would love it. I would love it. Secret Underdog, what's up, bro? Welcome in, man. Thanks for being here. Y'all went from 10.7 assists per game to 1.6 in Batum. I don't even know what that means, but Tyrese Maxey is averaging about 7 or 8 assists per game so far, I believe. He's averaging 30 points. Tyrese Maxey has absolutely shown in the first couple games that he can take that leap up, that he, with more touches, with more consistency, with more of a role, can absolutely be that lead guard. Will there be some bumps in the road? Sure. But I think now that James Harden is gone, Tyrese has the keys. The keys are yours, Tyrese. The keys are yours, man. The keys now belong to Tyrese Maxey. Obviously, Joel Embiid, but Tyrese Maxey at the guard position is now that guy. And Joel Embiid is, second in the league in terms of centers and assists. So he's doing his thing too, man. I think with the Nick Nurse style of basketball, things will flow a lot smoother. And I think so far it's just been a lot of talking. You know, Nick Nurse is he's trying to avoid the situation so far. All he can do is say the same thing. You know, I mean, he came out and lied is what he did. I told you he lied. Yesterday he said, oh, the Sixers are going to bring Harden back on Tuesday. No, they weren't. Harden was never coming back. He was never coming back. Let's see. What else we got? The comments are going nuts. We still have 1,000 people in the chat, and I appreciate everybody for being here. How many likes we have? 320. We should have 1,000 likes in the chat, man. I can't believe I got out of bed for this, but we're here, man. Dave says, RB, my question is, do you put Oubre in the starting 5 or leave him in the 6? I think that's a good question, Dave. I think that's a good question. Oubre has been fantastic in the 6-man role thus far. I don't know if playing Kelly Oubre in the starting 5 will kind of limit some of those touches and opportunities, or if you want to stagger him with Maxey, for example, with the bench unit. I think Kelly's comfortable where he is right now, so maybe they do put a guy like Rocco in the starting 5, but maybe it's a situation that we've seen in the first couple games where even though Kelly's coming off the bench, he's in the finishing lineup. He plays 29 minutes, whereas PJ was playing 21 minutes. PJ playing 21, Kelly playing 29. Even if Rocco starts, he plays 21 minutes, but Kelly plays 29. Maybe that's the way you go. And I will also tell the Clippers fans in here, and again, just as a Sixer perspective here, take it for what it is. PJ Tucker is cooked. He is cooked. I was a big advocate for PJ even before the Sixers signed him the year before. I said, go get PJ. Sixers got embarrassed by the Heat in Game 6. Joel said, we need a guy like PJ Tucker. I said, go get PJ Tucker. He has been very, very subpar. I am glad that the Sixers got off of his contract. I am very glad they got off of it. There's another year on it after this year. PJ Tucker goes out there and, you know, Sixer fans criticized him a lot for the lack of scoring. I knew that he wasn't going to be much of a scorer, but he didn't do anything else. He didn't rebound. He didn't defend at the level I thought he would. In the playoffs, he came up huge a couple times. He went at some guys on the perimeter. He, you know, was the rah-rah PJ. But overall, he never did anything that we expected of him for $10 million a year. He didn't, you know, cut backdoor. He didn't go in with that little floater hook shot of his. He didn't clean up the offensive glass. He did none of that. I was very surprised that PJ had nothing left in the tank. So, you know, I was happy when they signed him. He was Harden's guy, but I'm just warning you. You'll see what I mean. Bob with the $2 super chat says, happy both teams arguably got what they needed. And I agree with that, Bob. I think the Clippers got what they wanted. I think the Clippers had to make some type of push. So banking on Harden is not a terrible idea if you're the Clippers, because again, if it goes south, you can essentially blow up the team. So I don't think it's a terrible idea for LA. And I think the Sixers got what they wanted as well. I'm just glad that this situation is finally over. I've been making videos about it for the last 4 months. And sure, the content's great. Sure, you know, people want to hear about it, but it got sickening at this point when you're going into a season for the second time in 3 years and you don't know what the starting 5 is going to be. And you don't know if this guy's going to play or not. It was very odd. Very odd. So now I think the Sixers can breathe a little bit, and I think they'll be locked in. So far, they're playing good basketball. I'm trying to see if we have any more updates. Like I said, the Sixers could potentially be in line for 2 max slots this summer. So what if they go out and trade for Zach LaVine, and then they still have cap space this summer to maybe trade for another player? The Sixers could be lining up for something huge here. They could be lining up for something huge. $5 super chat from CEO says, did the Sixers receive adequate compensation for James Harden? Can you explain how the players they got back will improve the chances of winning the Eastern Conference? So to the first part of your question, I do think they got adequate compensation. I don't think it came with the players they got, but I think when it comes to the draft capital, if the Clippers were not going to include Norman Powell and they were not going to include Terrence Mann, the Sixers wanted 2 first-round picks. And according to Adrian Wojnarowski, they got 2 future first-round picks. One of them is being rerouted from a third team. In addition to that, 2 second-round picks and a pick swap. So, yes, I think that the Sixers have improved their future here. I'm not saying that this trade directly improves their roster to win the championship, but this could lead to something bigger down the line. That could be a bigger trade before the deadline. Maybe the Bulls say go downhill and they go south, and the Sixers say, okay, we'll now take some of these assets and go trade for Zach LaVine, for example. Or maybe they go to another team that's falling downhill, right? They could do that. Or they go throughout this season. They play it out, see where it falls. They then clear Tobias Harris off the books. Harden and Tucker are now off the books. Essentially, all these other one-year guys they signed this summer are off the books. You then have Tyrese Maxey. You have Joel Embiid. You have Jaden Springer. And that's pretty much it. Maybe you let Melton go as well. And you have all this cap space as well as future assets. That's another way you could look at this. So I think the Sixers maximized what they could in this trade based on Harden having little to no value. And that's how I feel about it right now. Maybe I'll feel different tomorrow. Maybe I'm just sleepwalking right now. Maybe I'm talking in my sleep. I don't know. That's how I feel about it so far. I don't think Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, and Rocco are going to help you win a championship. But I think they had to be included as filler in this trade. I don't think the Clippers saw much value of them anymore. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, Clippers fans. But from what I understand, you know, these guys don't have much left in the tank. And yeah, I think both teams got what they wanted in this trade. I just think it happened way later than anybody wanted it to. But you knew it was bound to happen. There was no way. Like these fans on Twitter that kept telling me, RB, James is coming back. The Sixers look good, and when James comes back, they're going to be even better. There was no way James was coming back. When he says something like that, he's done. I knew he would have to come back eventually if Daryl Morey held his ground and said, well, there's no trade for you, because the Sixers could have blocked James Harden for playing for any other team. But other than that, no, James was not coming back. And it's, look, I'm telling you, Clipper fans, it's something to keep your eye on. It's something to keep your eye on. When he gets unhappy, when he gets dissatisfied, there's no looking back. There's no looking back. Let's see. D Green says, I'm predicting the expiring contract of OG Anunoby on the way to Philly. You have OG. Siakam could be a free agent. There's a lot that could happen, man. There's a lot that could happen. We'll read some comments for the final, 10 minutes here? We'll go an hour. That's where I'm at, man. There was this video that came out yesterday of PJ and Harden on the bench. They were laughing it up. And you know what? I'm not going to sit here and downplay PJ Tucker any more than I already may have. I mean, I just kept it honest about his game right now. But even a couple months ago when PJ Tucker put out that Instagram story where he said, what did he say? I stand with my guy or something. Like, there was no reason to do that. The Sixers need some PR training, in my opinion. They need some training to prevent these guys from going out there and making situations worse. Because that's what happened with this. It was a ripple effect. Things continued to get worse. Inadvertently. And even Daryl Morey out there trolling on Twitter the entire summer. I mean, things just got worse and worse. Things got worse. There was no reason. There was no reason that PJ had to go out there and make that Instagram story a couple months ago, but he did. He was asked about it on Media Day, And he just laughed it off and he said, I don't have any answers for you. So that's where we're at. CEO with the $5 super chat says, I agree with the picks, but who is an upcoming free agent they can target? Will Embiid stick around for this? I think based on how the team's playing right now and how Maxi's taking this leap, I don't think there's any indication that Joel Embiid wants out of Philadelphia. If it ended up going completely south and everything went downhill and there was no promise at all, I think, yeah, then you could really make a case for, okay, Embiid might end up leaving. But right now, the team looks pretty good. The vibes are high. The coaching looks a lot more prolific than it has been in prior years. And I don't see any indication, there hasn't been any rumors, any real substance that Joel Embiid wants out of Philadelphia. And I think he has had trust in this front office, even through good and bad. I think he has stuck with this team through good and bad. And he said he wants to finish his career as a Sixer. I hope he gets an opportunity to contend for a championship. So we'll see. Hollow 702 says, even though they couldn't get Terrence Mann, I'm happy with what the Sixers got in return. We have some depth in exchange for a guy who we wanted to trade ASAP and no one else wanted him. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Nobody else wanted James Harden. This was the only team that still was out there ready to make a deal, and they finally got it done. They finally got it done. It was a guy who was never going to play for your team again. And, you know, as much hype as there was around Terrence Mann, the guy averaged 8 points per game for his career. I don't think Terrence Mann was some deal breaker, but apparently the Clippers thought he was gold. Now, in terms of Norman Powell, I think he's very underrated. I wish the Sixers could have landed him, but the Clippers probably said no. Sixers probably tried to get Paul George at one point. They probably said hell no. But I guess you get what you can take, or take what you can get at this point. I really think Maxi's going to average, 26 this year, 27. I really think he can have an all-star year, and I think now he's unlocked. And I don't think any of the players have bad blood with James Harden based on the way they talk. This was much different than the Ben Simmons situation in that the players constantly supported James. They said, we'll take him back if he wants to. There was no bad blood there. It was strictly a Daryl Morey, James Harden thing. And whatever happened behind the scenes, we'll probably never find out. But things got bad. I've never seen a player go out and call his former best friend GM a liar in the public eye and say that he will never play again for that guy. Let's see. Speed Demon says, I don't know why people are upset about the trade. We got more depth and draft capital. Harden is on 1 year of his contract and they have 4 injury-prone players. Again, when it comes to the Sixers, I think the draft capital is huge. And if they, again, going back to what I said earlier, if the Sixers got 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds, and a pick swap, and that is correct information, then this is a win for the Sixers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Petrusev wasn't going to get many minutes here. Tucker was, obviously not living up to that contract, and Harden never wanted to be here. King of Spades says, well done, RB. You must be tired. I'm exhausted, man. But I'm definitely not going back to sleep now. What a night it has been. We're here. We're here. Hope everybody has a happy Halloween for sure. We'll stay on for 5 more minutes and then we will get off here. But again, if you're just tuning in, maybe you're getting up to go to work early in the morning. James Harden has been traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. PJ Tucker in the deal as well. Philip Petrusev in the deal as well. And the deal has finally happened. The deal has finally happened. John Clark in the chat says, I like the trade. You act like Embiid isn't injury prone. Embiid has been injury prone, and that's something to keep in mind. He has to stay healthy. He's got to play much better in the playoffs. I think this system of basketball that the Sixers have been playing now will definitely help that. I don't think Embiid will have to take as many shots each night. I think the ball is moving around much better. I don't think they're going to put as much pressure on him, but he has to stay healthy. He has to perform 100%. King of Spades says, I'm a happy man. No more headache. No more old man Tucker. I don't care who we get now. It's Maxey and Embiid time. That's a fact. It is time for Maxey to take the keys with Joel Embiid and run this damn offense, man. It is time for them to run this offense and run it the way they have in these first 3 games. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Daryl Morey got all the confirmation he needed in these first 3 games. And he said, you know what? Now's the time. Now's the time. Maxey putting up, 34, 31, 26. Joel Embiid, 35 and 15 and 6 blocks. He said, yeah, it's that time. It's that time. Let's see if we can get any more info from this ESPN article before we get out of here. Guys, hit the like button, man. Get this to 1,000 likes. We are here at 4:48 in the morning. Hit the like button for the grind, man. I want to ask you guys in the chat, man, who won this trade, the Sixers or the Clippers? Sixers or the Clippers? Who won this trade? Give me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts. We're going to read this article before we get out of here. Also, before I read some of your comments, shout out to our sponsor here of tonight's show, DraftKings. Shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring this video. The NFL is finally back. We're in the groove of the season, and the NBA is right around the corner. So there's no better place to join in on the action than DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL and NBA. And right now, any customers who download the DraftKings app, sign up and use my promo code PhillyTake and bet $5 on any wager will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. And if you want a shot at an even bigger payout, you can use your $200 in bonus bets on a same game parlay to combine multiple bets from the same game, or you could just parlay a few teams that you're really confident will get the W this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a perfect time to get some skin in the game. Go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And once again, new users who use my promo code PhillyTake and bet $5 on any wager will instantly receive $200 in bonus bets. This video is brought to you by DraftKings. Shout out to them for partnering. All right, guys, we have a little more information. So I'm reading the Woj article here. Guys. We have some confirmation. Basically what I was saying earlier. Basically the confirmation from what I was saying earlier. Let me show you guys here. Also, shout out to John Clark for becoming a member, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for becoming a member. Here is what Adrian Wojnarowski says in this article. So he talks about the trade, but look at this, man. The Sixers had wanted to get 2 first-round picks out of a Harden trade, and they believe that those assets, coupled with the second-round picks and a pick swap, give them a chance to pursue another high-level guard in a trade to partner with MVP Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey this season. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you right now, the Sixers are not done. The Sixers are not done. The Sixers are not done. They are going for another player this season. As Daryl Morey stated before, we are either going to trade for a star or trade for assets that we can use to get a star. Sixers are going to monitor what's going on. They're going to try to get another big piece, man. This season, keywords. Could it be a Zach LaVine? Could it be a player like that? Could it be a DeMar DeRozan? We'll have to see what other teams kind of go up and down, but that's very interesting. Clippers keep versatile fifth-year guard Terrence Mann, who's been sidelined by a sprained left ankle. Harden is ecstatic to be going to the Clippers and is hoping to fly to LA as soon as possible. There's a chance he is in attendance Tuesday night for the Clippers' home game against the Magic. Harden had yet to play a game for Philly this season, although he was on the bench with his teammates during Sunday's game wearing jeans and a green hoodie. Harden grew up in Southern Cali and starred at Artesia High School in Lakewood, expressed a desire to be traded to the Clippers. So that's where they're at, man. That's where they're at. But again, Daryl Morey is going to try to make another trade. Sixers are going to try to make another trade. And if they don't, they'll have future cap space for this offseason coming up, and they will have assets as well. I think this is a win as of right now for the Sixers. I think this is a good trade, the best you could probably do at the current time. Anyway, man, that's all I got for tonight. If you guys have not yet, hit the like button. 1,000 people still in the chat. 5 a.m. rocking with us. We'll have to wait and see how the rest plays out. We'll have more on this as we go forward, but appreciate everybody hanging out with me, man. Hope you guys don't have to get up for work, man. Or maybe you didn't go to sleep. Maybe you didn't go to sleep. What a night. What a night. James Harden officially gone. PJ Tucker officially gone. The Sixers are on to a new era of basketball. It belongs to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring tonight's show. Use promo code PhillyTake. Appreciate everybody in here, man. Philly Take with RB. First to report on James Harden being traded. You guys have a great night, man. Peace.